All ages, welcome to another podcast. If you don't know what we do here, it is a live podcasting format. We want to be as interactive with the viewers as possible. I am joined by my lovely, my beautiful, my handsome, my lean co-host who might be 6'8". Nobody really knows. You can't legally confirm it. Kyle, how you doing today?
Lovely. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. As always, this podcast is sponsored by no one, but it could be you.
Could be you.
You never know. Could be you. But thank you. I appreciate it. No, it's a lovely day today, at least by me. I spent an hour in the pool with my brother. Everything's going well. It's same old quiet stuff by me. How's your stream today?
Long, but popped off. Got the content as always for the Instagram page, of course. New people in Discord, new faces. Stream was chatting a lot. Got to meet new people. Actually, I have something interesting for you. So some of you that might have met her today, or some of you that don't know, Ina, the little sister, is deaf, and she's going to get a procedure today to get a cochlear implant, so she might be able to hear pretty soon. So that's pretty exciting news. Spent 9 years of her life not hearing, so it's pretty exciting news.
That's
hopefully
awesome.
the first
That's
thing
actually
she,
crazy.
Hopefully the first thing she won't hear is my stream. Could you imagine the first thing you ever hear is my voice?
Oh God.
Reverse the surgery. Reverse the surgery.
Take it out of my ear. Whatever you did, just take it back. No, your voice isn't bad.
Thanks, buddy.
The things you say, that's a different story.
You have a gorgeous voice. The things that come out of it, yeah. So,
yeah, not so much.
While we're on this lovely platform right here, Kyle, this lovely platform, twitch.tv, specifically /noblehamil, twitch.tv, I think that we might have a few interesting things going on in the Twitch universe this week.
A few?
Some would say many, some would say plenty.
This monopoly of company is crazy, actually.
It's actually a monopoly company.
It's getting really close, right? Like,
yeah, 100%.
Now with Mixer gone, their only competition is Facebook gaming. Well, okay,
YouTube.
Facebook and YouTube, right? There's no other companies. I don't think any streaming platforms. Nothing notable.
As far as I know, yes.
The thing with YouTube and Facebook that's interesting is they kind of have they have regular traffic outside of streaming, which is huge, right? Twitch is just a streaming platform. You only go there for streaming. That's it. There's nothing else offered on the website.
That's very interesting.
Facebook and YouTube, though, have regular traffic. So if you stream on one of those platforms, you kind of get viewers kind of just passing by, which you don't get in Twitch. But what you get in Twitch is, a bigger selection of streamers to choose from, because that's all it is.
It's very difficult.
So I don't know if they're going anywhere, but it's definitely interesting that Twitch kind of has a monopoly on the whole streaming platform.
Speaking of the monopoly on the streaming platform and Mixer dying down, the big move, if you guys didn't see it, Shroud and Ninja, who were two absolutely gigantic streamers on Twitch, left about a year ago. Was it longer than that? I think it was 8 months.
It was less than a year. It was 6 to 9 months.
So nice. They left about a year ago. Started working on Mixer. For those of you that don't know, they cashed out. Basically, they made a ton of money there, and then Mixer liquidated their contracts, but they still got all their assets from it, so they still got all their money, and now they're free to choose what they do, and that's kind of the hot topic right now. It is a free agency, if you will, for two of the hottest streamers on the market.
What do you think is going to happen to them? I have my own opinion. I want to hear yours.
In their position, you have to think that. So if you guys don't know, Ninja left Twitch on pretty bad terms, to the point where Twitch was restreaming other accounts on his page, and then because of the Twitch algorithm, that rolled into somebody streaming pornography on his page, and obviously a bunch of little kids are Ninja fans. Like, the average Ninja fan is probably like 9 to 11 years old, just like a bunch of little boys. So he might have left on very bad, well, he did leave on very bad terms with them. I don't know if he would come back to the platform because of that. I think that you have Twitch, you have Facebook, and you have YouTube. If you're not one of those companies right now, just saying, here's all the cash you can get, please come sign with us, please come work for us, I think that you're making a mistake, because the amount of traffic that these people will bring to your website is absolutely insane. it will reinvest in itself within like 3 months or something. The amount of traffic it's going to bring. Could you imagine the headline of Ninja or Shroud's return to Twitch or starting a new day on YouTube or Facebook? That would be
Yeah,
insane.
absolutely.
Specifically on YouTube, well, because Ninja and Shroud both respectively have 6 million plus subscribers if they decide to go the YouTube route.
Yeah, no, they don't. They both have the option. Um, I was doing some research into this actually, and um, in my, I think Ninja, if he's offered the right amount of price, I think he's gonna go to YouTube. I think, like you said, the bad relationship with Twitch. He's got a huge following on YouTube already. That makes sense. Shroud, on the other hand, I could easily see him going back to Twitch. Um, I don't know if you follow Shroud. I know you do like Shroud, but I don't know if you follow him as close. He he still like frequents watching Twitch streamers all the time. He didn't leave on bad terms. He really liked Twitch. I mean, who wouldn't, right? If you're in his situation, he just took a lot of money and now he made out like a bandit, you know?
Yeah.
So for him to go back to Twitch would be, again, I'm sure YouTube could offer him something very enticing, but he might just go back to Twitch. And I wouldn't be surprised if Twitch kind of had something to say with it too, and they went to Shrub privately as well.
So this is a very interesting transition into another topic because Shroud is going to come back to the platform. If he does come back to Twitch, he's going to come back to the platform with mountains and mountains of viewers, seeing as Ninja left. And recently, the big news is Dr. Disrespect was completely removed from the platform.
Crazy stuff, actually.
Absolutely crazy stuff. So there's been a lot of... Go ahead.
We still don't know why, right?
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation as to why. People are saying it's legal issues. People are saying it's issues based on the cheating scandal he had with his wife a few years ago when he went to the con. They're saying it might be related to that because of all the Me Too stuff. It's more than likely severe legal issues to completely remove and refund everything from the platform. I read something that they're talking about Dr. Disrespect possibly creating another platform with Ninja and Shroud because Twitch isn't perfect, as I'm sure you guys know. If you go to any of the Just Chatting streams, I'm sure you guys know. So maybe they're looking to make a different platform. And that's also one of the reasons why Ninja and Shroud left, because they wanted to go to a platform where they felt they had a better sense of community instead of all the random spam and titty streamers, for lack of a better word.
I know you don't you're not like much of a Twitter guy, but did you see recently, I think it was yesterday or a day and a half ago actually, there was a huge feud on Twitter. It was
the charity thing, right?
What's that?
The charity stream thing?
Yeah, with XQC.
Yeah.
So
you could fill in people. I kind of know about it. You could fill in the people.
XQC made a statement. I think it was on one of his streams, or he tweeted about it, and he's like, most people when they do charity streams get paid for it. They're not just doing it, out of the kind. I mean, they could be doing it out of the kindness of their heart and also get paid. They are still working. He tweeted something about it after too, and it was quoted in Reddit on his subreddit. And Lupo responded, Dr. Lupo, another streamer who is known for contributing hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to St. Jude charity, says that he's never taken any money for a stream. And then XQC responded, clarifying that it's not everyone. You can talk around the community. There are plenty of people that have been offered, but it's not everyone. And then Ninja's wife responded, Jessica Blevins, saying that kind of just like calling XQC trash and his bad takes, and he shouldn't be saying stuff like that. And then he responded freaking out. I don't have it on me, but it's somewhere in Twitter. Everyone could look it up. And then Ninja came in defending his wife, and XQC was going at both of them. And I think the best part is that do you know a streamer on Twitch? I think his name's just Streamer or something.
I don't know.
He responded saying like 2v2 XQC and like his girlfriend, Ninja and Jess, in like a Warzone type situation.
That's funny.
And Alinity responded saying, "My money's on XQC and his wife." And
Yeah,
Ninja
she does
responded
not.
to
She does not
Alinity.
like Ninja.
Well, then Ninja responded to Alinity saying, "Don't you have another cat to abuse?" And people freaked out. They were like, "That's the greatest thing in the world."
That's not funny at all.
Well,
Not
Twitter
funny.
thought it was hysterical.
Twitter's not funny.
Well,
that
that's
is
true.
that is not funny at all.
So they were all freaking out about it, and he was like, "No, I'm just kidding. LOL, KW, weird champs in chat." Yeah, no, what she did was terrible. So that blew up all over the place, and then of course people dug into Ninja's history and found he did a charity stream where he took money. XQC went off about it. It's been nonstop with these big names.
Yeah, people have just been going off. Before we get to the next big name, because I know that you're feeling the transition I'm feeling. Um, what's the future for Doctor Disrespect? For those of you that don't know, he lost everything, all of his sponsorships. His channel got banned, deleted. Did it get deleted as well?
I don't know if it got deleted. But I
All
wouldn't be
his subs
surprised.
got refunded. He lost like literally tons of sponsorships, and he's
Which
just
is a
been
huge deal.
dark. He's just been dark on social media. Absolutely crazy.
I think we have to wait to find out what happened before. If it's something serious, then there's no coming back. There's no streaming career after that.
Yeah.
But if it's something that was out of his control or something deep in the past, I think his fans are the type to stick with him through most things.
So, Lara brought up a pretty good point in chat that cheating is disgusting, which makes me think of all of the allegations going on right now, which makes me think of the other news that we got this week in relation to the offline TV house. If you'd like to fill people in on that.
Yeah, no, so I've been following this pretty closely. Someone brought it up in chat, I think we were streaming too, that yeah, it was a legal issue. So Fedmeister, he's a popular streamer for offline TV, which is sort of like a streaming house, like small little tight knit community of streamers. They're all pretty famous. They include Pokimane,
Celebrity fame or streamer famous.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We're not talking about Chris D'Elia yet, but other famous.
Oh,
we'll get to that too. So recently, more statements came out for the sexual harassment statements, and two of the housemates were the first two to release their statement. It was Yvonne, who is kind of like the house manager for offline TV, and Lily Pichu, who was first known as kind of like one of the artists for League of Legends, for those who played back in like 2012, 2013, like the first few seasons. She was the one who was always featured on the front page for her art and ended up taking off in a streaming career. So their statements came out that Fed had been sexually harassing them, along with, countless other girls. And their stories have come out, and now even Skara's story, Sky's Toast story, Yasuo came out and made a statement. He had like a 40-minute stream about it. And which he admitted to. He apologized. I don't know if he apologized, but on Twitter he said that, he's sorry he wasn't around. He has been talking with his friends about times he made them feel uncomfortable. So now he's going to take a step back and listen. And people are not happy because he was probably the most well-liked, one of the most well-liked individuals in Twitch. If you came out and made a bad statement about Fedmeister, you'd have a group of people attacking you.
mm-hmm.
Not just fan base, like actual friends, or I should say friends. When he was on formerly the Raj show, now it's the Austin show or something like that. They had to change his name. And the winner called him ugly. She almost lost her whole career just for saying that. I don't know if you heard about that too.
I didn't. You know that I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah, no. So basically, he was it's sort of like a bachelor
I
type
did.
situation.
Somebody showed me the clip or something that the show was over, and then his friends came in to comfort him, and there's like, "No, you're ugly and you're a bitch too."
Yeah, pretty much. But the result of that was that, you know, everyone's supposed to go to the winner's stream after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a pretty big host, 60,000-70,000 people,
Mm-hmm.
and she did not get that many people coming to her stream, and I think she lost a lot of support that day. So he had a huge influence in the scene, and now it's kind of, we don't know where. I assume he's gonna go get help.
So
he has a lot of personal issues.
let's break this down really quickly. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. Kyle and I had this conversation off stream, and I had this conversation with a few other friends. I think that it was handled terribly. I don't think that that's hindsight, since we are currently in the midst of it. I think that it was handled absolutely terribly.
You can't hear my AC, right? It's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since we live in the social media era, and it's something Kyle and I talk about a lot, people feel the need to post everything online. Choosing his friends, even if they weren't his friends anymore, like what they did, what they chose to do, what the offline TV members chose to do, by putting statements out online instead of handling it amongst friends or just removing it and then making a later statement, I think is an absolutely inappropriate way to do it. Because what it did really, more than anything, is it brought them all more money. And I think that's a big issue. And that happens with the Chris D'Elia situation, which we'll get into later as well, where it's a lot of people are going online and talking about it and publicly distancing themselves from him instead of just waiting for the facts to come out, waiting for people to provide proof for all these allegations, waiting for people to actually provide insight from their own perspective. They just go vomit it all online because that's the social media era. Just put all of your dirty laundry out online and then hope for the best. And I believe you told me that Lily Pichu immediately retracted the statement like a day later.
Yeah, she took down her post and then she just put up like I think she put up like a video saying like, you know, I felt it was better to take it down. Kind of let me back up a little bit. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this and watching videos, and I don't know if I think it's not that they shouldn't have come out and said something. So I don't know if it's not an easy situation, right? If you deal with it off camera, off, like, you know, keep it private.
To interject for a second, they did say that they tried to. I will give them that.
Yes, they had an intervention where they came out, and at least this is what was told online. And obviously, Fed did say that on Twitter that they did talk to him about it. So I do believe them. There's no reason not to. That they tried to help. They all explained their stories to them. They all got very upset and was crying and apologized to it. And it was after that had the issue that he called up people like Kimmy, like I'm sure Yasuo got a call. I think he talked about it. Probably other streamers in like the Just Friends house, maybe like Foosley, Edison, you know, all them. Their other mutual friends, and tried to downplay the situation that he was being wrongfully blamed. So I think it came to the point where it wasn't just their house that they could deal with. It was the fact that he was kind of a toxic friend to everyone in general. And there wasn't any dealing with it offline because he couldn't accept that it was going to change his whole persona. So that made me think about coming out publicly as not just a saving face type thing, trying to grab viewers and have drama. I think it was truly that they don't, not that they don't want a part of their lives, but they don't want anyone else getting hurt. God forbid he doesn't get help. He comes back in 2 months and starts to stream, makes new friends. That could cause huge issues down the road for whoever becomes his friend, that he could lie, manipulate.
That's a very, very interesting perspective.
So I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing. I think that the way they did it, if they were going to come out with it, was the right way to do it. They all explained their situation.
That's where I disagree with you, but I agree with mostly everything else you said. Just because I know that these people... Just because I know that these people, these specific streamers, I've seen the things that most of them will do for money. So I can't... I have a lot of trust in Lily Pichu from someone that has never met her. I'm a Lily Pichu supporter. I don't know if I consider myself a fan, but I want to see her do well. I think that she
I
handled
think
it.
that's yeah.
I think that she handled it very appropriately. And then when she felt that the statement wasn't appropriate, she took down her statement, but she still supported the people that were involved. But making these like 40-minute videos and breaking it down, it's like someone that was a former friend. It's just a traditional way of growing up to me, at least. Like, I'm not going to go around spreading a wildfire because I think people should be allowed to make the judgments for themselves. And I don't necessarily, yes, she's dating Michael Reeves. I don't necessarily think that you need to give a warning as well. But if somebody asks you about someone else, then you can tell them the truth. You don't have to lie to them. But I think that you need to give them a warning as well. So the fact that they all took it online and the way that they approached it, where it was just like statement after statement after statement, it's like because that's the cancel culture. That's the everyone's getting me too'd right now, where it just keeps stacking. Everyone feels like it's their turn to make an allegation, and then all the false allegations come out. If it was somebody close to me, because I've been close with people that have done a lot of bad things, you just sit down. And it's like you need to figure out yourself, especially if you're living with them. Like you need to figure out yourself. I don't want to be here. And the guys say that they brought him up. It would be different if he was manipulating all the girls in the house, but because of course, girls might feel scared of a guy at a certain size or just afraid of a man in general based on past sexual history. But there was multiple guys in the house that told him this. If they all sat down and they were like, "You need to remove yourself from the situation. You're still a friend, so we'll make a statement eventually, but like we don't think you should be here." If they did that, and then he went on to say that, and then he went on to downplay it, and then he went on to tell people that he was dating Pokimane and all that. Like if that's the approach that they took, then I'll just eat my words. But I think that would be the most appropriate response to it.
Well, he did in the past, right? That's stuff that he did in the past.
This is actually to interject on my own point. This is also this is also an issue because they did the exact same thing when Lily Pichu got cheated on. That's why I don't trust this situation.
It was very reminiscent. I watched. Have you seen any of Healthy Gamer GG? His streams.
I know who he is, but I've never seen his stream.
It's a very good stream. Very informative, and he's very respectful. And I like the way he does he does like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday setup. And I watched the one where he talked to Yvonne last week, and it was very emotional, very sad. But she tells this story of what happened with Fed, where Fed came into the bedroom, but obviously shouldn't name any names. And I do as well. I'm a huge Michael Reeves fan. So she tells the whole story, and then he's like, "Oh, is it someone in the house?" And she hesitates and says no. And it actually ended up being a very like sad hour and a half. But I thought, it's very hard to do what she did. I think it's very, for lack of a better word, brave to be in her situation and come out and say it.
I hate that placing right there. Interjection on that as well. I just maybe it's the young people growing up in this era of social media, but the fact that you're doing it on a public platform like that, it's just not the way to go about it. People need to handle their business privately. It's just not the way to go about it.
If they weren't important public figures in the streaming community, maybe they would. But
I guess they're also young. There's a better way to go about it.
When you have to go stream, like all these people have to start streaming and making money again. What are you gonna do when your chat says the same thing? What about Fed? What about Fed? What about Fed? For the next however many days until you address the issue. So you have to make a statement, which most of them wrote down because they don't want to get too emotional. But still, if you find out I thought Yasuo's was very impactful. He made a statement and then just went and like played League. He's like, I'm done talking about it after this. And
I don't trust that guy.
He's like, imagine finding out like your best friend, everything they told you is a lie, and all they did was manipulate you.
Happened to me before. Sucks.
Yeah. And now you have to explain it to thousands of people, because if not, you're going to lose viewers, you're going to lose money, you're going to lose relationships, friendships. because of hiding information. Like, well, what are you hiding? Well, I don't trust you anymore. So I always thought that was interesting too. I can't imagine Cody ever doing that.
I could. The first half of that, you said losing money, losing viewers. I don't think that's as relevant, but losing friendships over something like that because people feel like you're keeping information. I think like there's stuff that I don't tell you that other friends tell me, and it's not to like protect you or anything. They just don't want me to share it. But I think that you, as my good friend, would trust me that you don't need to know that, and I think that that's perfectly fine. And if it was something so severe where it's like, yeah, I'll tell you eventually, then I think that you'd have enough respect for me. I think that's a lot of faux and fabricated friendships that they have in this streamer Hollywood community.
Okay, yeah, I can agree with that. That not all the friendship, friendships, whatever you want to call them, are typical friendships that we consider. Because there is a business aspect to them. They do make money together, which really that's it's like being friends with your coworkers almost. Which not all of them are, but
yeah, I think that you can be good friends because like technically at some point we'll be coworkers, but we are friends first. There's people like Pokimane, which I bring up often. She probably is not friends with the same people that she was friends with 3 years ago, and that probably changes every other year or something because everyone is trying to get ahead. Everyone's trying to take each other down. That's why I just keep to myself. I like my community. I like my friends. I don't need any more.
Yeah, no, that's if it's happy enough, there's no reason to like be greedy.
But that's the thing about all these streamers.
Well, it's just something you have to get used to because it's not going anywhere. It's only getting bigger. So you have to adapt to it.
I think adaptation is definitely part of it, but it's an immature mentality that we continue to see from those groups of people. We continue to see Ninja or Dr. Disrespect do offensive things and then show these apologies online where like I can't believe that I did that. I'm so sorry. I won't betray you again. We continue to see the offline TV house reacting over crazy things. We continue to see the Yasuos and whoever else is in there. I don't know.
The Tyler
ones making mistakes like that.
You know why?
Is they're kids?
No.
I think part of it is that they're kids.
And not all of them are kids. I mean,
they're all low 20s. But you see, like I've never heard anything bad about Dr. Lupo. Seems like a good guy.
No, I think that's the type of person he is. He doesn't have a personality for stream. That's just who he is. I think a lot of them have stream personalities, and it's not like we know them personally. Like they, we're just viewers, fans of some of them. It's not like they don't know what they're doing. You don't really get that way, that many viewers, that kind of money. Like you don't get lucky to hold that. You get lucky to spike your career, but you don't hold that kind of viewership unless you actually know what you're doing. These people aren't, I don't think, business stupid. I should say they could be street stupid.
I think that's very common in the internet and the streaming era. Like business, like they can do that pretty easily. They probably all are sharks, a little bit manipulative.
Yeah, it comes naturally.
Yeah. But maybe in the social aspect. I mean, it took me 23 years of my life to start streaming because I was developing a bunch of skills before that. But you see these people, I don't know what Pokemon's social skills are, but you see that she's been streaming for her entire life now, and like somebody like Dr. Disrespect, who he worked on Call of Duty games briefly. I think he worked at Sledgehammer. But like before that, he was just a guy in the office. Then he puts on this wig, and suddenly everyone wants to. All these girls want to have sex with him. All these companies want to give him money. All these people want to tell him that he's amazing and so great. And it's a very rough transition mentally, I think. And that's why part of that is why you keep yourself grounded. That's why I always bring that up to you guys. Like I have my base. I have people that can keep me grounded and help me out. Whether I had 1 viewer in here, 100 viewers, or 1,000 viewers, I've always been the same person on stream. And I think that changes a lot when these people start getting more money. You see their haircut change a little bit. They're wearing a different shirt next time. They're changing the way that they talk, and I think that's very interesting. Like I've always just been here to love love people and talk shit. That's just that's just my entire personality, and I don't think that'll change anytime soon. So it's very interesting to see people chastise who have been their former friends. People throw their former friends under the bus, and you begin to wonder if they're really friends in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm tired of talking about streaming thoughts. What else you got for me?
We kind of beat that to death. So let's I think you have more to say on this than I do, but we could talk about Crystalia and his incidents.
Incidents, plural, tough.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know who Crystalia is, he is a comedian. Very recently, he has been a part of this Me Too Part 2. Me Too Part 2, 2 squared.
Me Too 2.
Me Too 2.
Uh-oh is right.
Uh-oh Part 2. He has been part of another Me Too movement that has been going across the masses right now. Basically what happened is he's been accused of, allegedly, grooming underage women, having sex with underage women, sending explicit and sexual text messages or emails more specifically towards underage women. By the way, what type of pervert? This is just like, this isn't even an old creepy thing. Don't flirt through email. What are you doing? Get a phone call going. Anyway.
Insane.
I also just found out what grooming was within like the last month or so. If you guys don't know what grooming is,
I did too.
It's when you meet I don't think boy or girl matters, but it's when you meet an adolescent and you talk to them, you tell them how cool they are, how much you like them, that everyone else around them is just stupid and they're ugly and you don't need to be friends with them and just be friends with me. And then you just keep waiting and keep providing support. And then the day that they hit 18, you're just like, boom, I'm gonna fuck you harder than a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. And then it just completely destroys.
That's hard.
That's hard. It completely destroys their emotional values, their mental values. It completely changes their brain chemistry, quite honestly, which is what my new video will be about. By the way, self-plug on my own stream.
Every Saturday. YouTube.com/noblehamil.
So now he's defending himself. He got his lawyers involved. He's sent a few email chains back where it was proven that some of the girls were lying. All of these false allegations come out, which is such an issue. I've had to deal with that in the past, not for me personally, but one of somebody that I considered a friend told me that another one of my friends sexually abused her, and I was like, he might be a bad guy or something, but he would never absolutely do that in all his days. And then as we got deeper into the conversation, she went on to say, well, I felt like he sexually abused me. And then I said, you don't have concrete proof? Like, what do you mean he sexually abused you? Did he touch you? And then she went on to say, well, no, he didn't touch me. I was like, was he emotionally abusive? And she was like, well, no, but the way that I felt like I was being sexually abused. And I went, oh my God. It's terrible, terrible. Like, because it's so accessible now with the Twitter hemisphere to just go online, because one girl specifically said, I was talking to Crystalia. I told him that I was 16 years old, and then he kept trying to talk to me. But then he posts his side of the screenshot, and it's just that she had cropped out the image. You scroll down, and then the next message is like 2 years later or something when he hits her up again. If Crystalia is anything, he's a creep, but he might
For
not.
sure.
Definitely a creep, 100% a creep.
Yeah.
But he might not get in as much trouble. But the issue is that the same thing that happened with the streamers is that all of these people that he considered good friends are publicly denouncing him. And I think that is so terrible and so disgusting because they believed without fault that he was instantly guilty. So there's other LA comedians like Brian Callen and Brendan Schaub, Andrew Santino, Bobby Lee that you guys might know from Mad TV back in the day, and they publicly denounced him. But at their friends, Andrew Schultz, for example, is a New York comedian. He's like, I'm gonna give him a call, which is the same thing that should happen with the Fed situation, which is the same thing that should happen now, which is the same thing with all these other Me Too movements. It's like, hey, talk to me. What's going on? It's not the person's job on the phone to try and convince you whether or not they're guilty or whether or not they're innocent. They just say, hey, I'm going through some stuff right now. I'd appreciate if you don't say anything. I'm going to try my best to figure this out. And then on the other line, you don't have to say you love them. You don't have to say you support them. You just have to say, I hope that you get through this and get the help that you need regardless. You can just be polite. If you feel like you're lied to and disgusted and so twisted, that's great and everything. But what does it do for you as an individual to lash out and slander the person's name? What if every single one of these allegations against Chris D'Elia is just bullshit? What if it's all bullshit and the only thing he's accused of is being a creep? And he loses friends that he's had for 10 years just because they wanted to save their own careers? I hate that. Can't stand that. People feel like they need to make a statement and it's just bullshit. Just bullshit.
No, you hit the nail on the head with that one. The only people who should be getting involved is the ones directly affected by it. If it's not your business, it's not your business. You shouldn't get involved. Let them hash it out themselves. I mean, we could echo that all day, but people are just going to do what they want at the end of the day. There's really nothing we could do about that except, bring up the fact that, people will always do what's in the best interest for them. And that's just how humans are.
Laura brought up a point in chat. Do you know who Chaotic is? The name is familiar.
Chaotic, I don't.
Let me go off on a rant real quick while you do that.
Sure.
If you guys know somebody, or you know of somebody that is harassing children in some way, or talking to younger girls, or there's some sexual abuse involved, and you support that streamer, you want to support them through it, you really hope they get through it, you're a garbage human along with the person that is doing these things. Absolutely, under no circumstances ever, and I cannot stress this enough, if the age is coming into question, do not be that guy, do not be that girl, do not be that asshole, that boot scum, that trash of the earth that decides whether or not you should teach that person about a sexual relationship. Let them mature, go get the mental help you need, and stay the fuck away from kids. There's one thing that I cannot stand in this world, and is those people that feel the need to manipulate people that don't have the same power as them because they themselves were very hurt in the past and they can't deal with the power dynamic that they have. Do not ever abuse a power dynamic, and if you feel like you are getting into one, go fucking take care of yourself. I cannot stress that enough. That bugs me to my very core that people feel the need to abuse people in a power dynamic because they themselves had issues in the past and they think that taking it out on another person is the way to go. Rant over.
It looks like he was I guess a YouTuber. I don't know if he did streaming, but he was commonly.
Thank you for the host, by the way, Pon. I appreciate it. With PewDiePie,
he was recently accused of grooming young children and is currently under therapy for his mental case. So I never heard this guy, but yeah, apparently he is.
Stop fucking kids. I feel like it's not that hard. I don't look at a kid and be like, yeah. It's like, oh, that's a cute kid. And that's the end of that thought. Or it's an ugly kid. A lot of ugly kids.
That's a softball question if you ever get it. Just take you 0.2 seconds to answer.
Yeah. Do you... Mark Norman...
Do you like kids? No.
Mark Norman had a joke recently, which I think that you guys will love. He said he was having a conversation with one of his friends, and his friend says, yeah, I could never fuck a kid. I feel like they're just, I don't know, too annoying. and Mark Norman retorted with, excuse me, so what if this friend goes to prison, right? And he's in prison, and somebody comes up to me and asks me, Mark, what happened to Brad? I heard that he went to prison. He goes, I don't know, he met a really cool kid. I think the SA word is being thrown around to easy ourselves In our culture, it's about making a movement. So once the title is given, I think people feel an utter disgust towards that person without knowing. What do you mean the SA word, Brian?
I assume sexual assault.
Sexual assault. Yeah. Yeah, people. It's if you throw around sexual assault allegations or sexual abuse allegations, you're just the same as the trash that actually like. There's real people with real cases out there, and if you so badly need attention in your life that you're willing to lie about sexual assault, I hope it doesn't sound too harsh.
It actually diminishes other people who do come out, and it discourages people from telling their story.
That's the worst part. That discourages people.
They get nervous. They feel like people are going to get mad at them. They're going to be accused for lying. No matter what you do, even if you have screenshot proof, the other person admits to it, people are going to hate you. There is nothing good you can do but tell your story and prevent it from happening to other people. But, you know, it's a psychological freeze up, you know?
That's super weird to me that because you see things like this happen, like I brought up to you last week on this podcast, but you see things like the Amber Heard situation where Johnny Depp got absolutely chastised, his career was near ruin, he got fired from Pirates of the Caribbean, and it turns out that Amber Heard all along was the manipulative asshole. That's just it's terrifying. It's terrifying that you can just so freely where we live in a believe women culture where we want the proof second and we want to be loud and we want the accusations first, and then whenever a man comes forward, it's like, well, why don't you just deal with it? There was a professional wrestler that came out recently. He's like 6'5", 350 pounds, and some chick drugged him at a nightclub, and he woke up without clothes on. He's like, it happened to me. It can happen to anyone.
Yeah, imagine. Yeah, he's a monster of a man. There's and you might even know one of the Smash Pros, Puppy or something Puppy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him.
I don't know off the top of my head.
He released on Twitter today. I know we keep talking about this, but he released a statement that when he was 14, one of the Smash announcers was like tackling him and hooking up with them and constantly like performing sexual acts. When he was 14, she was 24. And you know, like these are the cases where it's good, because if this whole situation wasn't happening, I bet you he just doesn't say anything. He keeps it to himself.
It's nice to see
happening. You know, it's nice to see the guy that came out and said something, because it's so hard to do. You know, and you still have people in the replies, oh, you should be happy you got it when you were 14 from someone that pretty. Could you imagine 10 years older than you when you're 14? They have pictures of him when he's 14. He looks like he's 9 years old.
It's
disgusting.
That's the thing for like teenage boys. So there's like a lot of teenage boys that were all about sex, and they're like, oh yeah, I'd love to meet an older girl, and that was the fantasy back in like the 70s and 80s. But there's a lot of boys, little boys specifically, that were just manipulated. And it's like, oh yeah, I'll teach you all these things, and they don't understand until later in their life that they were hurt like this. And this, speaking of everything that's going on right now, one of my pinned tweet on Twitter is, if I ever do something that you guys don't agree with so severely, please call me out on my bullshit. I don't ever want to be like these people that we're talking about. I will always be a man of the people first and a streamer second. If I lost everything, if I lost all my stream community today, but I still had my friends, I still had my supporters, then I would be perfectly fine with that. I don't want you guys to ever feel like you need to argue my side. If anything ever happens, or if I'm ever involved in anything, just fucking ask me, because I'll tell you straight up. I don't want to be the personality that you see on stream. I don't want to be the Dr. Disrespect or the Pokimane or the Tyler One or the Yasuo, where it's like they're two completely different people. This is just me, and if you guys feel like I'm fucking up, please talk to me, and I'm very happy to share anything with you, because you guys are very, very important to me. Your support, your views, that what we share every day when I get on stream is so important to me, and I really appreciate that. So if I ever become that guy, I don't know. You guys can slap me if you want to. It won't feel too good, but maybe I'll need to wake up. You can't slap me. You can't slap me, not you. With those big meaty claws.
You want the 6'7" claw coming across your face?
Big meaty claws.
Claw. So I have a surprise for you.
I like surprises.
It's something that I know you're going to be interested to talk about.
Interested, as in I'm gonna rant about it because I've been known to rant.
You're going to rant hard.
Oh,
I've been ready for this. So I've been preparing to let you rant. So you have the floor. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's 4 words,
Mm-hmm.
and you're gonna have stuff to say. You ready?
No.
Classic League of Legends.
Ah! So if you guys don't know, Kyle, I knew that you'd I knew that you'd be like, you'll have stuff to say. If you guys don't know,
next week, but I needed to hear your thoughts on it now.
if you guys don't know, Kyle and I met through playing League of Legends. It's how I formed some of my best relationships. It's how I'm dating my current girlfriend, who I've almost been dating for 2 years. I've spent hours and hours and hours in the game. At some point,
days and days.
days and days and days. At some point, I was almost good enough to be semi-professional, and I had a ranked team, and we were pushing really hard, and we really wanted to be something. And I continued to play the game more, and I had wonderful relationships and wonderful friendships. And then, just like everything, things lose their nostalgia. Things die a little bit, and I was watching one of my favorite things that I've ever loved in my entire lifetime. When you have an online game like that, it's different. Like Modern Warfare 2 will never change because it is just a classic. It will never get patched again. It's absolutely amazing. Star Wars Battlefront 2, one of my all-time games, will never change. The original, not these dog shit EA remakes. Borderlands 2 will never change. Every game before like 2010, that's not an online game, will never change. But they started making such drastic changes in League of Legends. Like, I'm sure you guys know when you love something in Apex, because a lot of you are Apex watchers or players, excuse me. When you love something in Apex and they change it and it feels such a drastic change, people lash out. But what they specifically did to League of Legends is they took a game that so many people loved, that had the most tight-knit community of just wonderful, wonderful people. League of Legends used to, I know that a lot of you guys know now, League of Legends is an incredibly toxic game, which it is, and that's terrible. But League of Legends had a wonderful community of wonderful people. It was an absolute amazing game. There were forum posts going all the time. The artwork was crazy, and everyone knew everyone. And then the game started getting bigger, and it started getting more important. And this made me so excited because the thing that I loved grew into something beautiful. But unfortunately, as it grew, the community became worse. You started seeing people you cared about disappear from being online. Friends that I had made from when I was, because I grew up with League of Legends. I started playing League of Legends when I was like 13 years old or something. So all of those adolescent years. When I first met Kyle, luckily enough, we remained friends, but he's a friend, he's someone that I could resonate with and be good friends with because we had this thing in common. We had this love of League of Legends. I didn't meet him until I was 16, 17 years old. And then they destroyed my game. They destroyed something that I loved so much, and I gradually watched them destroy it. And now I will only play when my girlfriend wants to play. I used to play League of Legends for hours and hours and hours every day. But now my friends have to, Kyle knows that my friends have to yell at me to actually get me to play a game with them because it's just not enjoyable. It's not the game that I fell in love with. It's not a good thing, and it feels so terrible that it's tarnished the image of itself. That it's not what it used to be. I absolutely love the Apex community. For a quick self-interjection, I love the Apex community. The people that I met, you guys through Apex, the people that I met on stream, the people that are now really good friends on my Discord. I love the Apex community. But that transitions into old school League of Legends. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I would love to see it.
You got some time before it comes out, right?
Yeah, I would like to see like a specific cutoff for the champions, because if you guys don't know, League of Legends champions,
a specific patch that they'll go back to.
Yeah, League of Legends champions used to be very straightforward with how they worked, and then every champion started having every type of ability. They changed all the items very severely, and it became a completely different game. And then they make drastic changes every 6 months that completely changed the way of the game.
I'm trying to look when they might actually patch it back to.
You got me ranting today. What's going on?
I was just, doing my job. I think it would be interesting if they went back to like season 2 or season 3. I think there's a lot more stuff that we take for granted now that we would, you can't sell items back in those old seasons, which is, you can't undo it or whatever the function is now. There's a lot that you take for granted. Quality of life changes over the years. That would suck. But getting to play the old champions again, getting to play the old interactions, because when you change a champion, you just don't change the abilities. You change the way they interact in the game and with all the other champions, which is a huge deal, especially for people who like one trick pony.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you imagine being an Aurelia main and then them butchering your Aurelia?
Yeah, she's changed so much. They've changed.
It's a completely different champion.
Yeah, they've changed so much. It's interesting. It's interesting. I don't like it, but I will look forward to these changes, and maybe it'll be something else to play on stream, and maybe I could get more people into it because it'll be old school League of Legends I fell in love with.
It's something we're definitely gonna try for sure.
Bring back Master Yi, Ryan. Ooh, AP Yi. Ooh, that's also another thing that I rant about on League of Legends all the time. That they removed all the fun from the game. There's only straightforward builds that you can do, and that really bugs me. Get me off League of Legends before I blow out a blood vessel.
Well, do you want to go to how long have it? It's been a while now, right? You want to just wrap it up with some anime talk?
Yeah, I like anime.
Yeah, we'll calm down from the ranting.
I like anime.
To just talk about something we all enjoy.
I like anime. First thing you bring up. So, how do you feel about? How do you feel about insert terrible ending here? Okay. If you guys don't know, seasonal anime is coming up. I believe it's in the next few days. Happy July, by the way, guys. We've made it to July 1st in this lovely year so much.
Lovely year.
I know the people are having a lot of tough times these years, during this year, it's been a good year for me. I've been working my ass off. I met some cool people. Maybe it's not the best year for you, but it's been a good year for me, and I've been working hard. During this time, you have a list of the new anime coming out anywhere?
I could look at it.
I know ReZero is coming out. I know Sword Art Online is getting a new season. Actually, let me check that really quickly. We're transitioning to full weeb talk, by the way, so if you guys want to talk any anime as well. And this is also the Q&A portion, since we're slowing down with the actual podcasting part, since we got all the things across. What does bipolar mean? Bipolar is the very literal translation is just hot and cold. Lara, sometimes you're hot towards things, sometimes you're cold towards things.
Yeah, so he said Overwatch community is crazy bipolar. So you're gonna have people who rage hard, and you're gonna have people who are extremely nice and loving and caring and want to play together.
Yeah, if you guys insert rich clip here. If you guys want to ask any questions during this time, if you guys want to talk about any topics in particular, if you guys have anything on your mind that you'd like to hear our opinions on, go ahead and ask them. But in the meantime, Kyle, I found some anime for us. If you would like me to announce those.
Yeah, go ahead.
What looks like is coming out this season is ReZero Season 2, which I know both you and I are very excited for. If you guys don't know what ReZero is, it's an otherworld anime. It's an otherworld anime where the main character, his special ability is that, and this is not a spoiler because it happens within the first episode, I believe, is that he dies. And then he comes back, and then he dies. And then he comes back, and then he dies. And that's the entire premise of it, but it is the psychological trauma of someone continuously dying, and it's not like when he dies, he just has normal experiences. He experiences the pain of dying all the time. So it is very big psychological trauma. Following that, unless Kyle, you have any statements on ReZero?
No, that was I actually have to rewatch it. I watched it, what was it, 2 years ago?
It's so beautiful too.
Yeah,
the art's so beautiful.
It's absolutely wonderful anime. I highly recommend. I'm gonna have to watch it again before the new season comes out. I rewatch anime too much. I need to spread out and watch new ones instead of just rewatching the same ones.
I'll get to that in just a second.
Yeah,
Kodo. Let me write it down just so I have it. Season 3, the closing season of, excuse me, My Teen Rom-Com Snafu. If you guys like romance anime, if you like love triangles, if you like mini harems, that'll be all you. My Teen Rom-Com Snafu is coming up, and it's going to be absolutely Beautiful. Do I think anime airings will be finicky with COVID being a thing? Yes, I do, Cody, and that is specifically because if you guys know Kaida, Little Dragon Kaida in chat, I'm sure a bunch of you know her. If you know her younger sister Hina, recently I talked to their older brother, and he works for White Fox Studio, which specifically works on ReZero, and he was saying that there's a big anime delay for everything going on right now because you have such strong deadlines for anime. If you guys don't know, mangakas and animators work incredibly hard. I think that I work hard and they just make me eat my words all the time, but they work incredibly hard and they put in a lot of time and they need to be in an enclosed area for a long amount of time working with several people. So because of the COVID, they haven't been able to work as well as they would like to, which delayed a lot of anime, as you guys might know. Sword Art Online season 18 part 2. Have you ever seen Sword Art Online?
I watched the first 2 seasons.
And then you're like, woof.
That's all I got to. Maybe I'll end up watching it because it is very popular. I know some.
Look me in my face, Kyle. Look me in my face.
Yeah, I'll be on the side screen.
The writing style hasn't changed at all. Not one bit. It is still, we go fight, Kirito saves the day, and there's always a fucking rape scene every season.
Really?
In Sword Art Online, every season there's a rape scene. I have no idea why. I could not tell you why.
Very meta right now.
Very meta. I could not tell you why. Every season, there was a rape scene in the first. There's a rape scene in the first season, the actual Sword Art Online. There's a rape scene in the Fairy World. There was a rape scene in Gun Gale Online. There was a rape scene in Mother Rosario arc. There was a rape scene in Sword Art Online Alicization Part 1. That's 5 out of the 6, and the 6th one was just an OVA that had 3 episodes. They didn't have enough time for rape in that. I don't know what the animators, I don't know what the writer is like going on about, but he's a weird dude. He's a weird dude. Anyway. And in No Shobutai, Fire Force, if you guys haven't seen it, is absolutely gorgeous. I would strongly recommend it. It is going into the 2nd season. The God of High School is pretty hyped up. I'm just going for things that might be hyped up. This looks like a new baseball anime, probably. Oriwosuki. Wait. Is this what I think it is? Holy shit. Cody, we're getting a 2nd season of Oriwosuki. Alright, Cody and I will talk about that off stream. That's actually so exciting. Oriwosuki is an anime. I think you'd actually really like it, Kyle. It's an anime about a guy trying to be a really good guy. He's basically fed. He tries really hard to be a good guy, but behind closed doors, he's a terrible, terrible person. And he's manipulating all these girls. And
it's a harem.
Kind of. He's manipulating all these girls, and it turns out that the girl that loves him most knows that he's a crazy, terrible person, and he starts showing everyone his dark side, and it's very, very, very funny. If you guys like hentai, there's a new season of Monster Musume. Well, it's not really hentai. It's ecchi, and it's basically hentai. If you guys like Monster Musume, that'll be coming out for a 2nd season. In addition to that, welcome back, Queen. In addition to that, we have marketing questions that our beautiful young child, Pawn, brought up. Thoughts on Parasite? Kyle, have you seen Parasite?
I have not. It's actually on my anime list of things to watch.
I loved Parasite for the most part. What's the name of the hentai for so I can stay away from purposes. It? What? How do I stay away from this? I think Parasite was good without giving too much detail to Kyle. I think Parasite was good for the first 18 or so episodes, and then I think the ending, Kyle and I have very different perceptions of what a good ending is, so this won't spoil it for him much, but I don't think the ending was up to par for me, and that actually made me rate it lower. I think that you should watch it, Kyle. Fair. I think you'll like it.
You know, it's on my list. So I'll get around to it.
Photo Gaming Worldwide. Pawn specifically asked about marketing questions earlier. How do I answer that? How do I answer what is most important in marketing? I think that you need to make yourself. So specifically, I'll bring Kyle into this with our podcast. I think that you need to make yourself marketable. I think that is the most important thing. Before you go onto Twitch, before you go on your Instagram and you start showing all these clips, or you start saying, come watch my stream, definitely do not be the guy that goes in other people's comment sections and is like, I followed you. Can you please follow me back? If you guys don't know, Twitch followers don't mean
Extremely
a thing.
common.
Twitch followers don't mean a thing. They absolutely mean nothing. Not one thing. Maybe 30% of my followers come in on any given week, but that still gives me pretty high numbers. If someone follows you, that doesn't mean that they're going to stop into your stream. So if you guys are an aspiring streamer or an aspiring entertainer, it's the same thing on Instagram. Instagram might be different because people like seeing the numbers, same as Twitter. But on stream, specifically, if you're doing follow for follow, it's like sub for sub on YouTube. That doesn't equate to viewers. It's very, very, very important for you guys to know that followers do not equate to viewers. So you need to make yourself marketable first and foremost. The first thing that I did as a streamer, and if you guys can see, Kyle and I both have these pop filters right here, because before the podcast, I told him that he needed to invest in a new mic because audio is very important. And then I had other viewers donate for lights. So what you see when you see me as an image is someone that's very marketable. Before I got onto stream, I showered, I ate, I cleaned myself up. I still have a pterodactyl mustache, but I have lights as well. I have a good microphone. I have the good background. So me as a character, if you're just looking at noblehamil, if you're stopping into this stream, if you're looking at noblehamil, you're like, okay, let me see what this guy says. He might be decently put together. And then whenever you're marketing to new viewers, whenever somebody comes into your stream that's brand new, you are trying to sell them a product. You're trying to talk to them, you're trying to interact with them, you're trying to show them why they should be in your stream, why they should come back, why they should follow your other social accounts, why they should stop in your Discord. You could be really good at a game, you could be really funny, you could be really talented, you could be very good at interacting with your stream. I have a few of those aspects, but I don't have all of those aspects. What I do personally is I'm very, very kind to people. I want to talk to chat. That's very, very important. My interaction with chat is very, very important, and that's not something I can stress enough. If you guys want to be a good content creator, there are two ways that you can go about it, and I don't think that there's any in between. Well, you could take the offline TV style and just manipulate your friends and be a terrible person and then just climb up to the top the shady way. You can be really, really good at something. If you are really good at something, and this goes across all facets of life, not particularly just streaming. If you are really, really good at something, thank you for the update, Chris, I appreciate you. If you are really good at something, people will want to be near you. People will want to see what you can do. That does not pertain just to streaming. That will pertain to sports, that will pertain to your hobbies, that will pertain to arts, or just being a sociable and good person. People will want to be near you if you're good at something you do. On the other hand, if you are not good at these video games, like you guys will see at the beginning of stream, I'm always terrible for the first hour of stream. But I do a really good job talking to people. And that's what keeps people in here, because I'm a sociable person. I want to talk to people. I want to have good interaction. That's very important to me. Specifically, with the point of this podcast is that Kyle and I are talking to you, and we're keeping that viewer attention while we're having the stream. That is very, very important, because as you start getting to the bigger streams, I'm sure some of you know, what's the point of typing in a streamer's chat that has 20,000 viewers? You know he's not going to see you. You're losing that personability.
Yeah, that's fine. That works. Yeah, I think the two best examples that at least I think of in my head are probably Shroud. When you think about someone who's good at games, he's not just good at shooters, right? He's very, very good. Like he picks it up fast and he's able to perform at the highest level. Maybe he's not the best, but he's definitely competing with the best at multiple games consistently over the years. So he's always going to have viewers. He could not say anything, and I bet you he would still have thousands and thousands of viewers.
Yeah, and his personality
he's also a good personality. Yeah, exactly.
It's more than okay. It's more than okay.
And then on the other hand, you have someone like Tyler One with 15 to 20,000 viewers because of his personality. I think even if he's not a challenger level AD carry,
you're still gonna watch him. It's the same
diamond,
thing as Dr. Disrespect, who sucks at video games, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's that bad.
He sucks. Let's be honest here.
I've seen clips of him.
I've seen him do good.
like yeah, it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. He can play a bit, but yeah, no, you're not watching him because you're looking for high level tactics and strategies. You're looking for a great personality to watch, like you would a TV show. So I don't, like I said, I don't know if there's a middle ground, but if you're starting off, like if I were to, I'd go more the Shroud route. It wouldn't be much of a personality for me. I'm kind of a dull person, but I think I can play multiple games very well. So there's at least that.
Yeah, Cody brought up a pretty good point in chat. You watch Faker's chat, and that's the same thing for Faker's a professional League of Legends player, by the way. Most consider him to be the best League of Legends player of all time. That's the same way.
Best of all time.
That was the same way with Dyrus, a professional League of Legends streamer back in the day. Zero personality. Absolutely none.
Less than 100 words a stream.
But he was really good at the game, so people wanted to watch it. So if you want to become a content creator, go one of those two routes. You can go the third route, and you can be a shitty person. If you can cast aside your humanity, JoJo, you can go the third route. But otherwise, you're going to want to do the top two routes.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend the third route.
I've done it before. It doesn't work too well. Got any more questions in chat while we're here? Any more of you beautiful people have questions? No one ever tells me what to work on. Why is Nanachi so cute? Cody, you're such a weeb. I love the criticism you give me during stream. No one ever tells me what to work on. I think that's very important. I think that's very important for people to get the appropriate criticism. And we were talking about that in the earlier portion of the podcast. For those of you that weren't here, I have my good friends like Kyle and Cody and other people that you haven't met on stream that talk to me. Go Ted. That talk to me and tell me what I'm doing right and wrong. And I have this conversation with them probably every week, every other week, that are like, if I get to the point, because I don't believe for a second that this isn't going to be successful for me. I don't believe that I'm not going to have an amazing stream. I don't believe that I'm not going to be somebody bigger than I already am. But if I get a big head for even a second, even a smidgen, my friends are going to tear me down. And I think that's the very, very important part of making good relationships. And that's very good for you, Pon, as a mid-tier streamer, that you're making good relationships now, so you will have people to tear you down if possible. Kyle, you can just talk right now. You don't have
it's
to
actually a bit too much to type. I was like 3 sentences in, and I was like, I still got more to say. No, it's a good question, brother. So basically, I think we said in one of the earlier podcasts, but for those of you who don't know, I live in New York and Noble lives in California. So we don't actually meet up in person. So for me, it's as life gets crazy, this is a consistent thing that I can rely on, that I'll always be able to talk and catch up with a friend of mine. It may sound like something little, but at least for me, it's something I could look forward to. Now, whether this becomes something more than that or not, that's not really up to us. We're just going to do the best we can to keep people entertained and mostly just enjoy a conversation. What we're trying to do here is just have a normal conversation about topics that we're interested in and let people chime in like we would just sit on a couch and talk to each other. For me specifically, I just like talking in general. Outside in all my relationships, I'm more of a listener. But to actually have a little bit of a platform to speak on issues that I'm interested in. A lot of people in my life don't have the same interests that I have. I have a lot of online interests. But that's why me and Noah became such good friends, because we share so many of those interests so intricately, and it's become sort of an outlet instead of having to just force my girlfriend to listen to me about stuff she doesn't care about. I could just go to Noble. And I'm sure.
Wait, am I your girlfriend? Hold on. Hey, it's me, your girlfriend.
Feels similarly to me. I'm sure there's other ways I could do it. It's just always been, I listen to podcasts a lot. It's something to listen to on the train. The whole streaming thing, I think the first time I used to stream, it's my podcast, not gameplay. Is this platform easier for you to work rather than gameplay? It's something I've been going back and forth on. For gameplay, it would require a lot more of a time investment, a time and effort investment. I would have to actually promote my own kind of stream and
let me interject just for a second to help you out. Sure. Thank you, Pon, by the way, for gifting a sub to Queen. Kyle and I had a phone call about 2 weeks ago, and I said, listen, we're fucking up right now by not podcasting. As my stream continues to grow, like, people are going to want to hear what I have to say, and I want to bring you along with me. So as Kyle has his other job and continues to work on his career, this can be considered more of a hobby, but also it's something we can put time and passion into in the meantime, and then this will continue to grow, and then we will get more platforms for Kyle to do things we want to do. Or maybe we just podcast forever. Who knows?
Yeah, I do work 40 hours a week, so, it is not like I'm not doing anything. Maybe down the road, back when I was in college, I was able to stream a bit, 8 years ago now, I think, is when I first turned on the stream, and it was never to stream to people. It was just kind of record my own videos because League of Legends client never had a replay system because it's a small indie company, right? So I always just use it to watch back my replays and kind of just show videos to other people. But who knows in the future? We'll see.
Also, Laura brought up a good point in chat. I'm a professional sitter. Cody is a professional sitter. Also, Laura brought up a good point in chat. If you guys feel like you need an outlet, like you have creative ventures that you're trying to explore, please, please, please message in the Discord. Start talking to people. Start showing the things that you like to do, that you care about, and then people will be attracted to that. Like, excuse me. If you're an artist, if you're a streamer, if you're an artist in the sense that you're making music, if you think that you might be able to contribute to stream in some way, or you'd like people to see what you do, we're trying to build a sense of community here. We're trying to build a family. We're trying to make something really, really special. And I think that with all the friends that you guys are making here, with the family that we're making, the fact that you know people by their first names, with the fact that you listen to people's personal accounts and they want to hear about your day, genuinely, I think that's very, very beautiful and special. And what Pon just brought up in chat, what's the goal for you guys? Where do you want to be in 6 months' time? I am only 3 months in to full-time streaming. I'm only 3 months into full-time streaming right now. And we're already at this point. And it's absolutely wonderful and it's absolutely beautiful. To think that we might double it in 6 months' time it's so interesting. There's a point in the future where if I told Kyle one day, right? I told Kyle the other day when we were on the phone, I said, Kyle, we're going to do something great and special here, but I need you to commit to this podcast with me. And he said, I don't want to half-ass it. And I said, we need to start at some point because people will start paying attention to what we have to say and want to listen to what we have to say. So we need to do it now rather than later. And it'll come to the point eventually where you guys will see us 2 years from now. You guys will see us 2 years from now. We will be in a studio. I will be with one of my best friends, and we'll just be talking shit. We'll be talking shit, and we'll be podcasting, and we'll be able to produce it to you guys. And we'll have our watch your triple your progress in 6 months. I'd fucking love that. And we have our community, and we have the people that really supported us, the people that support me, and by extension Kyle. That's so beautiful that I'm putting the work in, and somebody else that I care about a lot, somebody else that I respect a lot in Kyle is really willing to put in the work with me, and we can make something really, really cool out of it. That's fucking crazy exciting. And I have so much exciting shit for you guys in the future that I can't wait to share about. And also, Pon, to your point, before I transition it to Kyle, because he loves letting me rant, this is the money right here. This is how we get the bread.
This is the clips we save.
fave streamer. Oh, you guys are sweet. It's so important to interact with people. I'm trying to find a middle ground because I'm more than good enough at the games that I play. But I love talking to people. I love talking to people. I love getting to know you guys. I love getting to know who you are as people, what makes you tick, what goes on in your lives, how I can help, how you can help me. This is not, and will never be, this is not two streamers and a chat. This is a bunch of people hanging around and talking. This is a bunch of people getting to know each other and trying to create a pretty dope community. So, Kyle, let me refresh the question because I talked for so long because people kept typing in chat. Where do you see us in 6 months?
See, I think it even further than that. For me, it's not. I don't live in 3 months' time. For me, it's now and years' time. And I know you could just say, like, 6 months, I want to be further along in my career, but specifically, I've taken this approach to just my life in general. I don't think, for me, this is specifically for me, I don't get any benefit of thinking where I'm going to be in 3 months, just outside of this podcast, just in life in general. What works best for me, I've just found over the years, and like I said, this isn't everyone. For everyone, you need to set goals every month. I need to think about the present and have a goal for like a 4 to 5 year period ahead. If I find myself setting goals for where I want to be in 4 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, I don't live in the present. I don't put enough mental strength in living in the now, and that's just what I'm capable of, and I know that. So for me, I'm thinking 5 years down the road, 4 years, 5 years.
We're gonna advertise on a blimp. I like you.
So it's hard to say, where I want the podcast, where I want it to be. I want it to be episode 500, whatever it is. Episode 500 of Two Broken Escalators with special guests. I don't know, whoever you want.
Special guest, this guy.
An option of special guests, like have an option. Just have people listen. If there's people listening, I'm okay talking.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good enough for me. We started doing this because we want to talk, and even if we have a few people listening that also want to chat, that's fine. So as long as people are still there to listen, we'll keep talking.
I think that's a beautiful way to close it right there. Unless you have anything else.
No, I think we're all set.
As long as people want to listen, we'll keep talking.
Yep.
Kyle, if you would like to sign off to stream personally before I do it myself, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging out with us, everyone. I appreciate it. Make sure you give Noble a follow, a sub. If you haven't used Twitch Prime, use it in the chat. But seriously, thank you guys for hanging out, for talking in chat. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you all next week. I appreciate it.
I'll catch you in a second, buddy.
Yep.
If you guys talk